Welcome back to XboxCorner, my name's Luke, and it's the start of another month and so another huge collection of Game Pass titles for us to cover here on the channel, with 8 new games dropping in this week alone. This of course means we're going to be losing a few titles, and there's a couple of big ones in there, so make sure to check out our Leaving Game Pass video linked in the description box below. Today however we do have quite a lot to cover, so hit that like button, subscribe for more deals, reviews, Game Pass content and graphical comparisons, and let's get into it. So first up we have the puzzle platformer Contrast, a game which first released way back in 2013, but this is one that I remember playing back on the PlayStation 3 and actually quite enjoyed it. Now the game sees the player controlling Dawn, the imaginary friend of the game's protagonist, a young girl called Dee Dee, who is the daughter of a troubled mother and father who are struggling to make ends meet. From what I remember though, the storyline in this is quite a dark one, and as Dawn you'll have the ability to shift between the 3D world and the 2D world as a shadow, and the game's puzzles often involve manipulating light sources to create platforms out of shadows to jump on or interact with in a variety of different ways. The game received mixed reviews on release, but it certainly tries to do something unique with its mechanics, and I really like the noir atmosphere of this one and its stylised Art Nouveau visuals. Next up we have the first of 2 roguelites this week with Dreamscaper, a fast-paced 3D action roguelite featuring a waking dreaming gameplay cycle, where by day you explore the city of Red Haven, building your relationship with its residents to unlock the powers of your dreams. As night falls however, you'll then delve into your subconscious to fight the nightmares that you find there, along the way discovering powerful artifacts and battling against your own personal torments in the form of bosses which are embodiments of things like fear, isolation and loss. Now I'm a big fan of roguelikes, so this is definitely one which appeals to me, and I love the concept of exploring your subconscious as it could really open things up for some very creative gameplay elements, so I'll definitely be checking this one out. So the next game on today's list is Telling Lies, a narrative-driven investigative thriller game which appears to be very similar to the Wales Interactive FMV games, so think The Bunker, 5 Dates and Late Shift, that kind of thing. This one though was developed by Furious Bee and Sam Barlow, and much like his previous game, Her Story, Telling Lies is essentially an interactive movie which has you exploring the contents of a mysterious laptop which appears to be loaded full of stolen NSA footage. Through exploring this archive, performing searches and watching video clips, you'll piece together a story which involves the intimate lives of 4 individuals, all linked by a shocking incident, and the game has multiple endings to discover, so there is room for multiple playthroughs of this one if this kind of game is your bag. Besiege is the name of our next title, and this one is a game preview, and it's definitely one for all you creative types out there, as it's a physics-based building game which sees you constructing medieval siege engines before unleashing their destructive power on armies of soldiers, vehicles, sleepy hamlets and immense fortresses. To me this one looks like Meccano on steroids though, as you piece together your abominations using an incredibly intuitive looking construction system, adding wheels, propellers, blades and bludgeoners, with your only limitation really appearing to be your own imagination. Being a game preview though, this console version only includes its 54 level single player campaign for you to work through, but the PC version currently has both online multiplayer and an extensive level editor, so if you enjoy this one that's probably something to look forward to in a future update. So CrossfireX is undoubtedly one of the biggest releases on Game Pass this week, and if you're looking for an alternative to COD, Battlefield or Halo, then this one may be worth checking out. Launching as a Series X and S exclusive on Game Pass, the game's campaign mode offers a cinematic gameplay experience which was developed in close partnership with Alan Wake developer Remedy Entertainment, and its story explores a global conflict between 2 rival military superpowers which you get to experience from both sides of the coin. If you're more into the multiplayer side of things though, CrossfireX also has you covered in this regard, and the online multiplayer element is actually going to be free to play, which of course means plenty of microtransactions, but it does look like it's shaping up to be quite a solid one. You can expect the usual assortment of online multiplayer modes such as TDM and objective based gameplay, and this includes quite an interesting one called Spectre, which puts a spin on the traditional search and destroy formula, limiting players to melee only, whilst also giving them stealth suits to play with. If you're into your shooters though, I recommend giving this one a go, and come release day I might actually see you out there on the battlefield. Swapping out guns and grenades for swords and sorcery then, up next we have the epic RPG Edge of Eternity, which launched last year on PC but has made its way to consoles as a day one release for Game Pass. JRPG fans will rejoice with Edge of Eternity though, as this one is touted as a love letter to the Final Fantasy series, and you can expect all the classic tropes of the genre, including a turn-based battle system, plenty of magic and melee, and a story which, while also playing into the cliches of the genre, is apparently well worth experiencing. The game also looks absolutely gorgeous, with sprawling plains of grass and futuristic looking megacities, and it's an ambitious project for the aptly named Midgar Studios, who from what I could find only really have one other big title called Hover. Edge of Eternity has received plenty of praise with its Steam release, but being a JRPG, it's undoubtedly one that you're going to have to free up a good chunk of time to play through. Our penultimate game today then is Skul, the Hero Slayer, and this one is another roguelite that I played and enjoyed on the Nintendo Switch, which sees you taking control of undead hero Skul in his quest to take down an army and rescue a king from captivity. There's some really interesting gameplay mechanics in this one though. As with most roguelikes, you can expect the usual cycle of death and rebirth, procedurally generated levels and plenty of boss fights, but your skills in the game actually come in the form of skulls which you can equip. And much like the legendary Mega Drive game Kid Chameleon, which is far overdue a remake, these skulls transform your character's appearance, granting him a wide variety of skills and abilities, and you're actually able to equip 2 at a time, switching them out on the fly to mix and match playstyles. I will admit though, it's a tough little cookie this one, so be prepared for a challenge. Rounding off today's list, we have a contender for the longest Game Pass title ever with The Last Kids on Earth and the Staff of Doom, which as you can see I've been too lazy to reduce the font size for. This one though is a semi-open world action RPG based on the kids' TV and book series, which tells the story of 4 friends fighting back a zombie invasion in the post-apocalyptic town of Wakefield as they fight to stop the evil Melandre from obtaining the Staff of Doom. It looks to have some enjoyable gameplay mechanics though this one, with you able to summon creatures and allies to help you in battle, craft new weapons and armour, and upgrade your abilities, treehouse and your getaway car known as Big Mama. As well as single player, the game also features 2 to 4 player local co-op, so if you're looking to keep the kids quiet for a few hours, then this is one that's definitely worth a download. And so that just about does it for this week's offering of Game Pass titles, so which if any of them will you be playing this week? Perhaps you're wanting to flex your creative and destructive powers with Besieged, or maybe just pop a few caps in CrossfireX. As always, let us know down in the comments section below. I'll be back next week with another roundup, but until then, don't forget to check out this month's Leaving Game Pass video, subscribe to stay up to date with all our latest deals, reviews and Game Pass content, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks everyone, take care.